Hey, welcome everyone. I'm very excited today to have Kimberly StarKey with us. I was a little worried at first because tonight is the big debate with the presidential candidates, and I thought, oh my God, are people going to watch the show? And I realized, well, it's not until 9, so this is a great way to get unwind and relax a little bit and get in the mood to just spend the evening on your couch drinking a glass of wine or scotch or whatever. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for joining tonight. This is really exciting. How are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing so well. I'm so grateful that you take the time and put in the effort to do this and meet with us artists. It must be like herding cats. I know it
Well,
is like herding a cat to try to get me to, do things.
it's so much fun because I really get a chance to explore your music over the last couple of weeks and just love the music videos, love your music. And also, I talk to everyone I talk with about you. And let's see, um, I interviewed Lisa just a few weeks ago now, and she said, "Oh yeah, no, I know Kimberly." So I mean, you're known out there in the world of musicians, and composers. So it's wonderful to hear how you affect the world. So thank you for all you do. I'm excited that you're doing a lot to help people too in the process. Tell us a little bit why you call yourself the Rogue Pianist, because I think that's an interesting title for someone.
Yes. So basically it's like sometimes the stars just align. And it was a bunch of things that converged together. First of all, I am from the Rogue Valley in Southern Oregon.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's definitely something there. The
Hmm.
word rogue to us, in Oregon, it means it has a good connotation, whereas I think for other people, sometimes that word can, not be such a good thing. But for
Hmm.
us, it's like being yourself.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
Even if that's different than others, and
Hmm.
I always felt like I didn't really fit into any specific genre.
Hmm.
And it just in a lot of ways growing up I never felt like I fit in anywhere really. But for me, it's really about the experience of uh, that experience when you sit down and you just lay your hands on the keys
Hmm.
and the sound comes out, and there's just this experience that can happen when you're playing music or when you're listening to music. It's like transcendence.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the one common denominator.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised that you're talking about. It almost sounded like you felt disenfranchised when you were younger, and yet I see you as such an effervescent presence, and I thought maybe you would be extremely popular when you were a kid. Is that not the case? Because you just come across as being, no? Wow, I'm surprised.
sweet. No, okay, so no, I was not popular. I was really off in my own world,
Hmm.
um, because and I'm sure we might get into this more later. And those who know me, they mostly know kind of the story. But right before I started kindergarten, my dad passed away,
Ah.
and that um, really kind of was part of it became part of my personality, was like the search or the ponder of like, where do we go, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
or what is even like the meaning of life, just like really deep questions that I think a lot of little kids might not really
Hmm.
need to think about a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so for me, when I went into kindergarten, that was fresh on my mind. And so I was just really off kind of in La La Land. Everybody
Hmm.
would be lining up to do something, and I would just be over standing at the sky or like watching the trees. And,
Hmm.
and so, and then, so I was just really in my own world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got into music. What was your first memory of something musical that inspired you as a young person?
Yeah. So it ties really right into kind of what we're already talking about, which is,
Hmm.
when my dad passed away, I had just such a range of emotions that
Yeah.
I didn't know how to process, because I was really close to my dad. He was,
Oh.
a very amazing person with a very
Hmm.
big personality that you
Hmm.
just, that it created a huge void when he left. And
Yeah, sure.
so I had all these emotions ranging from anger because I thought he was playing a joke on me, to
Mm,
sadness, to even like this really deep beauty that I experienced, like that,
mm,
of love. I think I
mm,
really was aware of what love felt like.
mm-hmm.
And so when I sat down, we had this piano that nobody played. My grandparents had given it to us,
Oh,
and
wow.
nobody in my family was musical. I think my dad dabbled in a little guitar chords and would,
Ah,
belt out some popular songs. But I just remember going and sitting down to the piano, and I just played a note. And by the way, everybody, I do have a piano right here. Well, it's actually a digital piano, but
yeah.
I played, a note, and it just resonated. And I still feel that feeling when I play that. Like, I just have full body goosebumps right now because it's almost like it opens up. Um, it opens up something, whether it's just whether it's just part of being human, or if it is a spiritual experience. It feels like a spiritual experience to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, so that's where it all began, was that one note. I felt like all my emotions, they were all scrambled, and then when I played that note, it just went whoosh, and it was like this feeling of warmth and connection, and that is where it was born. And then
That's
ever
just
since.
amazing. Yeah, you are just so wired into the world of music. It's amazing. So let's give people a taste of what you do. This is something called Brilliant Love. Do you want to give us a little bit of a background on that before I play it?
Yeah, okay, so Brilliant Love. So, as someone who's experienced so many emotions so vividly,
Mm,
in fact, to the point of being diagnosed with mental illness,
mm,
such as such as borderline personality disorder. I was diagnosed
mm,
at one point, which is just kind of like you just experience your emotions so intensely. And so, as somebody who has experienced that and experienced just that range of emotions, I can see within myself that even the really painful emotions, even the emotions of anger, that that they're trying, like, it's like those emotions are trying, even though they're not always doing a good job, but they're trying to protect love. And there is a movie called Inside Out that I think illustrates kind of all of that very well.
mm,
It's an animated movie, and I haven't seen. There's like Inside Out 2. I haven't seen it yet, but
mm,
where these emotions within us, they have jobs, but they're all trying to they're trying to protect us. And I think that deep down, who is us, right?
mm,
Well, we're all born as these innocent little babies, and I believe that deep down, somewhere in there, okay, for some people, it's such a small little speck, but there's something beautiful in there. And some
mm,
people, it's buried so deep, they'll never really get a chance to experience it. But a
mm.
lot of people, um, but it's in there. And so brilliant love is that little part of us that's brilliant within us, that's
Wow.
shining and shimmering, and that just keeps, that's there. It's undestructible. It may be
Mm.
covered by layers of pain and trauma and, all sorts of things, but it's in there. And so it's kind of my dream that somehow we could all learn to connect with each other. I mean, speaking of the debates tonight, speaking of the
Hmm.
debates,
Yeah.
if only we could see that little brilliant love, that everyone just like wants the best.
Hmm.
And a lot of people will say, well, no, not everybody wants the best, but they want what they think is the best,
I
you
love your
know?
vision. This is a
So
beautiful piece. Even without this back history, this is such a wonderful thing to listen to. But thank you for sharing that because that makes it all the more special. So let me just set up the beginning of this, and this is called Brilliant Love.
and you'll hear, sorry, before you start, you'll hear this kind of little 16th note motif that just dun, 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 dun. It goes throughout the whole piece while life is happening around it. And really, that's what I see happening right now, even with what
Mm,
we're going through as a country, as a world, is all that's happening, and that this little part, it's going to make it through.
I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I got to tell you that 30 seconds into that, got goosebumps. Just, oh my God, just really, my head was just, lit up, just lit up. Just amazing. Just amazing. How do you go about taking a concept, like you had this concept of all these 16th notes and everything, but developing it the way you did? You have some wonderful transitions and some, and is this all orchestrated by you, or do you also use help with orchestration people? How do you go about doing that? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. Sorry.
I muted myself.
There you go.
So, so this one in particular, I worked with this very talented. He was a teenager at the time. He was 17 years old.
Oh
His
my
name
God.
was is Denis Surov. He lives in Russia,
Mm.
and I worked with him on this. I had a solo piano track that had the whole, composition as far as the melody and the chords and the song structure.
Yeah.
And then I just sent that to him and kind of guided him. And he would send me back tracks that were really good,
Mm.
but I would be like, more. We need more, more. And my first classical piano teacher he was a Russian. Actually, two of my main piano teachers in life were
Mm.
Russian born, and
Oh,
they are so passionate. And my first piano teacher, he would always say, more, more, more. So I would just get to go more, 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 more crescendo, more
I love it.
build, more ritardando. Yes. So
So
um,
tell us about your musical education. So you decided early on to dedicate your life to music. Is that true? And then you went to the path of college and all that with music as your major. Is that true?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
wonderful.
Well, of course, it was either whale trainer or piano player. To me, they're kind of the same thing because they're both, or it was, I was obsessed with orca whales, and they're big, they're black and white, they're powerful,
You're
they're
serious?
full of
Oh,
life,
okay.
and
Wow.
so are pianos. So
By the way,
they're,
have you seen the series on Netflix called The Fabulous Attorney Woo?
no.
She's an autistic attorney from Korea, and it's the most hilarious thing. She's into whales so much that she can't stop talking about them all the time.
Oh,
I I think you would really enjoy that show.
yep. That reminds me of someone I know. It was constantly, ask me a question about whales, ask me a question about whales. It was
Mhm.
just like always whales, everything.
Yeah.
Um, but when I realized whale training probably wasn't going to be it, for some ethical reasons and whatnot,
Hmm.
piano it was.
I could
And
see you riding a big gray whale. I could see you out there,
yeah,
like in Dune. They're riding the sandworms. I could see you out there riding a whale.
I would do it. I would, if the whale allowed it, and if I
I
could
bet
balance,
I,
I'd do it.
I bet you would. So and
So,
so you went through college, and then how did you
well,
get into the?
actually,
Oh, tell me more.
it starts even crazier than that. So when I
Mm.
was 16 years old, I moved to Hollywood.
Oh,
I got a GED, which is a general education diploma, because part of my whole process with school is, ironically, I was diagnosed with auditory processing disorder and
that
was
is
told, like,
ironic.
basically I was told you suck at listening,
Wow.
um, which is weird because
My wife
obviously,
tells me that all the time. I'm kidding.
yes,
Yeah.
so you can relate. But so school just like wasn't for me. I I got out of there. I got a general education diploma, and at 16 years old, I said, "Mom, I'm ready to move out." And I moved
Wow.
to Hollywood. I moved to Pasadena, California, and I went to a music school in Hollywood. It was called Musicians Institute.
Mm.
And 16-year-old me was like the youngest person in the recording engineer department with all these like 20 and 30-year-old men.
Mm.
Thank God they behaved themselves and everything.
Wow.
They had a pretty derogatory name for me
Oh
now that I think
no.
about it. Should I tell everybody? I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, it was a term referring to the fact that I was young and, whatever,
Oh.
but they behaved. They
Mm.
behaved.
Mm.
So yeah, I did that. I got kind of this, it was like a trade school diploma. And then I went to Alaska
Mm.
because, and that's a whole story, but basically my sister brainwashed me
Wow.
to go to college because I was not going to go to college. I hated school.
Huh.
But she said, um, you could, this is, by the way, during a 9-day trip from Oregon to Alaska. It was supposed to take 4 days. It
Mm.
took 9 days because we were underneath the biggest storm of the decade. And
Wow.
we somehow started underneath that. And so by like the seventh day, she said, you can just eat pizza and play the piano if you go to college. And I was like, that sounds really good right about now. So I joined, and I joined, and I had been mostly self-taught. I mean, I took lessons on and off, but I didn't like the rigidity, and I didn't like feeling like any of my creativity was taken away.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
so, when I went to college, I was definitely way behind in reading music and
Mm.
things like that. But
Yeah.
my teacher really took me under his wing, and he was like, "All right, you're going to learn these classical pieces." And I
That's
really fell in
wonderful.
love with, especially romantic classical pieces, just the drama of it. And yeah,
Now, would this be a good time to play She's No Beethoven?
sure.
Tell us about
There's
the
no
story on
better
that
time
one.
than the present.
Yeah, I'm really excited that you're going to play something live. That a lot of people don't want to do that, but you're very brave. And so tell us
And
the backstory on this one.
yeah, and of course I forgot I was doing this until I read the email like last night. So,
Oh,
and there's
okay.
my dog.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so the so this is called She's No Beethoven, which is kind of a weird name,
Mm,
but really it's all about the idea, and it seems pretty simple, but it's kind of not as common as I would like, which is that classical music, I mean, I think it's wonderful to celebrate it and to celebrate composers like Beethoven
mm,
and Mozart and all the different um, classical musicians
hmm.
and even the famous people we have today. To celebrate their music is wonderful, and we also we don't necessarily, it may not serve us to idolize them, because when
Mm,
we do that, we're putting them up on a pedestal, but we're saying, but we're not capable, we're not creative. But I
right.
believe everybody on this in this room on
Mm,
Zoom, and
yeah.
everybody watching this, everybody, we are all born creative. We're not
Mm,
machines.
hmm.
We make the choice how we want to eat our peas, and if we want to eat our peas, or
Right.
how we write our peas. Like it's living is an act of creation.
Yeah.
So so I just sort of felt this disconnect when I did go to college, where it was like um it was kind of like, you need to just play the classical music, and we don't really care about what you do as far as creating your own music.
Right. Right.
And I'm kind of like, no, I'm not Beethoven, I'm me, you
I love
know?
it. I love it.
I'm not trying to be Beethoven. So, okay, I'm
Yes.
going to put you all on a different camera here. Just
Okay.
going to
Sure.
keep down at my keyboard.
Love it. Oh, there
And
you
I
go.
want to just let the viewers know this is a, budget audio system. It's not,
Okay.
it's not going to sound like, we're in Carnegie Hall or
Yeah,
anything.
that's fine.
But here we go.
Brava. Wow. That's a masterpiece there. That's really great. That's great. Now, by the way, is there a version of that online? Is there anything online where you
Hold
play?
on. My dog just decided that right when I went to play this piece, she was going to find some kind of piece of trash
Oh
and
no.
get into it. So I have to just yell at her really quick. Hey,
Okay.
Sophie! Sophie? Okay, I don't know what that is in your mouth. Hold on
Okay.
one second.
All right. The challenge is a pet ownership.
Oh, right. Oh, you found my lunch. Okay, we're not going to eat that.
And what's this guy's name?
This this is old blind lady Sophie.
Oh, Lady
Uh,
Sophie. Yeah.
yes, my students say she looks like a mix of a piglet and a zombie.
Is she truly blind too?
Well, she's fully blind in this eye, but she
Oh,
can
wow.
see enough to see just a touch. Oh wait, no, she's fully
Yeah.
blind in this eye. But
Yeah.
I like myself, I like my rescue dogs, and I wish no dogs needed to be rescued, but
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately,
My daughter's famous for that. She's got rescue dogs all the time coming over. Well, thank you for that. That I was going to ask, is that also online somewhere too? That piece that
no,
you just played? Okay, because
not.
that is a beautiful piece. You need to have that online
I
sometime.
know.
Yeah,
I do.
on a
I mean,
beautiful
one, I
Steinway
know that
or
it's a beautiful, I mean, thank you, but I
yeah,
know I need to get it online. I don't know, for whatever
yeah.
reason, I
By
haven't
the
yet.
way, I see influence of Rachmaninoff in there, maybe a little Liszt too. Who were some of your favorite composers, and what do you think influenced you in terms of your writing?
I love the two that you just mentioned a
Mm,
lot.
mm,
Um, yeah, Rachmaninoff would be my probably number one
mm,
favorite.
mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, just
yes.
incredible
So,
stuff. He does
yeah,
amazingly emotional stuff. Yeah, beautiful.
thank you
Excellent.
so much. Thank you.
Now
It's
let's
fun.
talk about, so you have this whole series of improvisations, and I'm just really intrigued by that. Tell us about that, because you write them to people basically, which I think is just a beautiful gesture.
Yes. So, okay. So my favorite thing to do, and I don't know how it was born. I think it was born out of not being prepared,
Mm,
really.
hmm
Where I would be in some kind of situation where I would need to play something for someone, but I wouldn't have practiced or something. So I would
mm,
just make up a song
mm.
and it became my superpower.
Wow, that is pretty good.
So yeah, so I absolutely love to just make up music in the moment.
Mm.
Especially yeah, if it's for somebody like I can you guys hear my dog drinking the water behind me?
No, but you know what? You just came in a much better focus when she did that, so that's good actually.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I
Good.
think the system probably gets rid of that sound, so no worries.
Okay, she just knows that I'm, on an
Of
important
course,
call. And she's
of
like,
course,
let's
it's
just
like a
make all
child.
the noise we possibly can make. Um, yeah, she's like a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so I love to, tap into the energy. So
Mm.
recently I did a concert. I was honored to headline for this local um, it's called well anyway this local concert hall here
Mm.
and one of the pieces in my program, I just decided that I wasn't gonna know what I was gonna play.
I love it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I called
Oh.
it "The Sound of Us." And I do have, you know what? I would love for people here to have access to that, to watch that. So I
Mm.
will send you the video. And mark my words, I will send that video to you within a week. But
Oh.
basically, I just decided that I would kind of do this weird thing. I don't know how to explain it, but I would
Mm.
just tap in to everybody's energy.
I love it. That's
And
wonderful.
it's
Wow.
almost it's I want to say it's almost an out of body experience, but it's actually like the polar opposite of that. It's like
Mm.
when you're making up a song on the spot, you are more in your body than you could ever be. You're like fully present.
Yeah.
Every part of you is present. And I think that in this day and age where our attention can be so many different places, I think that that is something. Okay, hear me out on this. Hear me out.
Mm. Okay.
So music, the way we think of music is a lot of times is that we get a piece of music that's written out
Mm.
and then we learn to play that and we might memorize it or whatever, but that piece of music that's printed is really just like a script, just like you
Yes,
would get for a movie or, a
exactly.
play.
Exactly.
So, what about the conversation? What about
Hmm.
music as a conversation,
Hmm.
right? Like, if I'm just talking to you all and I'm just here and I'm kind of like anticipating, and I'm kind of anticipating how this is gonna go,
Mm.
but I'm excited. And now I'm starting to feel excited and I'm feeling connected to all of you.
Mm.
And maybe now we all are like tapping into, maybe we're all kind of starting to feel in here,
Mm.
right? We're
Hmm.
starting to feel memories, and maybe some of them are even painful, and we might go to a minor key.
Mm. Wow. Wow. That's
And I
amazing.
left it on a 4 chord. Some of
Yeah.
my piano students are in here. That was a
Hmm.
4 chord that we left on because the story is not over.
I
So we
love it. I
didn't go
also love
home to the
your
one
use of
chord.
the melodic of the of the minor melodics is really beautiful too. Just stunning. Yeah, I love that what you're doing. That's great. And you just did that off the cuff. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Wow. So I thought I played the one that's the improvisation for your mom. Would that be okay?
sure.
Okay.
I
Any
mean, if you want, it's kind
yeah.
of, it's sweet. My
Yeah.
mom is my best friend. No offense to my other best friends, one of which is on here. She is my best friend. She's my inspiration. She's afraid of flying, and she flew here to visit me last weekend.
Wow. That is
That's
real love
her
right
with
there.
her. Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. So we both support each other in our growth and going after what we want
Oh,
and
by the
moving
way, I think you might appreciate watching my interview with Joe Blanchard, who knows nothing about music at all. And he does kind of what you do, this improvisational stuff. He had a 3 hour recording session, and in that period, he did 40 pieces, and 10 of them he'd never done before, just like you just did. But you know music, which is that's the you really know what you're doing. He has no idea what he's doing, and he admits it. So as a result, he can't really necessarily remember exactly what he's done each time. But anyway, the talent that you guys have, where you just bring it out of It's magical. It's magical to watch what you just did. Thank you for that. So just we'll just play a little bit of your mom's thing. How's that? Just a little bit.
Sure.
There's so much other stuff to play, but I just wanted to do a little bit of that.
I love that you wanted to play that one because that's not something that it was this little improv that I made for her, and it hasn't gotten much light. So,
Oh,
much of
it's
the
very
spotlight. So it's really sweet. It's gonna
yeah, it's
mean a
very
lot to
sweet.
her when I tell her that you specifically rummaged through all of my music and you picked out that one.
I thought it was very sweet. Yeah.
And as you're playing, I want all of you to think about your moms, right? Your relationship with your moms.
That's a great idea. Just really sweet. Really, really sweet. Yeah. Thank you. Um, there's so much stuff to play here. Um,
I have my ideas of the final two.
okay.
So, I think it would be wonderful to play two more
Mm-hmm.
in this order.
Okay.
The first is, and I don't know if you have it up, to be honest.
Oh no. Let's see. Is it in this list here, perhaps?
Um, nope. It's called it's not on my own channel because it's a Warner, it's technically signed by Warner Chapel Music. So what is it called? I
Oh,
have to remember what it's called. Oh, it's called Approach to the Inmost Cave.
that's
No,
yours?
that's my piece that I did fully write and orchestrate completely.
Wow.
Um, it'll have an ad, sorry, um, an AI ad. So as that's going, so this piece, going back to life, right? Our lives. Sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, what are we doing in our lives? I mean, some people have it all figured out, like
Yeah.
Bill. He's in here. He's one of my students. You
Okay.
know, I think Bill's got it all figured out. But for the rest of us, maybe there's something that he hasn't figured out. But for a lot of us, I mean, life it can feel like kind of like we're just in this moment and we're just looking at what's going right and what's wrong in this moment. But when you
Mm-hmm.
really look at your life throughout your whole life, you really are going through an arc. You really are learning lessons. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so this piece is inspired by what's called the hero's journey, although we've called it the Shiro's journey
Ah,
because
okay. Yeah.
because we are she. Apparently,
Yes.
that's an actual. It's actually called a Shiro, a female
Okay.
hero in
Mm-hmm.
Japanese. But so the hero's journey is actually a story template that's used by a lot of Hollywood movies, like hero movies,
Mm-hmm.
where there's actually this sort of, even though, there's sort of a common theme where it's an ordinary world and the person thinks they're ordinary and then something weird happens, they get bit by the spider, whatever. And
Mm.
there's kind of a call to action and they kind of refuse the call. And there's this story that happens. And it does happen in our own lives in a lot of ways too. Maybe not quite to the, Hollywood level of things, but we're all going through our own journey. And so this part that I wrote, it's called Approach to the Inmost Cave. This is the part of our story that is the hardest part. And it's often the part that we don't talk about with other people. Unless it's the people that are absolutely the closest to us. They may know, they may not even know. I think men especially don't always share as much, right? As women, we have
Got
the
that
gift
right.
of gab. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going through. But with men, they're, sometimes it's harder for them to share it. I'm
Definitely.
generalizing, so it's different
No,
for
it's
everyone.
true. It's true. Yeah.
And so this piece is like, okay, you're approaching that inmost cave. It's the darkest place. How are you going to get through this? You don't know if you're going to make it through.
Wow.
But I wrote I wrote this piece about that. But you just take everything you've learned in your whole life. You take every ounce of inner strength that you have, and you just give it your best.
Wow.
And you'll hear what happens in the end. I think you'll hear that you kind of make it through.
I'm so glad you brought this to, I missed this one, so I'm so glad you brought it up. Let's play it.
Yeah, most people don't know about this one.
Okay. I feel like I've just watched the most amazing movie. That is incredible. That is incredible. So now, is this a movie? What is this thing? Is
Well,
it a?
fingers crossed it gets into a movie somewhere, but this is part of an album um, called The Shiro's Journey
Yeah.
uh, that Felicia Ferrer, she kind of spearheaded the whole thing, and she basically had composers from all around the world, all women composers,
Hmm.
um, each write a track for this album.
Wow.
And yeah,
That is
so
absolutely magnificent. Wow. Now,
yeah, so the Warner
would you
Chapel
like?
Music, which is the subsidiary company for Warner Bros. They basically did so. It's my first record contract,
I love
and
it.
I have to say it's a little odd because now nobody knows about that I wrote this because it's
Hmm.
not on my channel, and
Can
so
you? Well, can you put it
hopefully
on
they'll
your
use it.
channel? Is there any reason why you can't put it on
So
your channel too?
I probably could, but sometimes
Yeah.
I'm a little gun shy about that kind of stuff because I don't want
Well,
to
I
get
got
in
to
trouble.
tell you, it's impressive. And would you be interested in writing, four movie, movie background movies? Yeah, music
Well, to
movies.
answer your question,
Mm,
I do dabble in it, but here's the thing, and it goes
mm,
back to Brilliant Love, the song I
mm.
wrote. For
Yeah.
me, my job in life is to keep that part of me
Mm.
um kind of un uh to
Encumbered.
keep, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that the high pressure atmosphere, environment, working environment of being like that's what I do, a film composer,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be good for my soul. So for
Yeah.
me, I just write music if it gets, picked up or licensed for films
Yes.
or whatnot. That's great. And then
I
I do have
totally
some
understand that
side
because
projects that I do.
I've
Yeah.
heard film composers always complain about how tight the schedule is and crazy it is, and
Yeah.
that was just absolutely magnificent and beautiful. So congratulations, that's awesome. So what's the
Thank you.
final thing you want to talk about? What's the final one you want to do?
I think that the final piece for today would be Symphony of Angels. Um, have you heard of Chad Lawson?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, he would be, he would be one that would be wonderful to interview. He
Mm-hmm.
is an amazing pianist and composer.
Ah,
And um, yeah, yeah, he said, I think he gave me the best compliment I ever received, which was he said after I had written my first album, he said, um, you had you I listened to your album and he didn't say it was good or bad or anything. He said it was clear that you had something to say.
oh, I love that.
Yeah. And that
That's
always
wonderful.
stuck with me.
Yeah.
So, um, but anyway, he had said that as a composer and, a musician, he's really like it's like a caregiver kind of in a way.
Mm. Hmm.
um, where basically you're creating that music as the way of caring for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, and caregiving is something I think a lot of us have experienced, whether it's for, our grandparents or our parents or people,
Sure.
and so this next piece, oh, I should tell you the piece.
Yeah.
You're like, what is it? Symphony of Angels.
Well, first of
Symphony
all,
of
it's amazing. It's beautiful, but okay. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Symphony of Angels, and this is just, it doesn't have to be a religious idea or anything, but just kind of the idea of all the people in the world that do care, that care
Mm.
about you, that care about me,
Mm.
or angels, if there are angels,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just the the souls in the world that are love. And so I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a little poem, and I'm not a poet by any
Mm-hmm.
means, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna see if I can find the poem really quick.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Okay.
And this is what is based on this poem. This is something you wrote. And yeah.
Yes. Oh, actually, this is a cool story.
Yeah.
This the artwork you're gonna see in here.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork is artwork that was made by an artist that is in this room right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Here,
Oh,
yes. Her
okay.
name is Sarah. Sarah's iPad is her name in here.
Okay.
Sarah Deary, who also coincidentally is coming to visit me from Wisconsin tomorrow morning.
I love it.
And
Oh,
she's
that's
also
great.
a pianist. But anyway, so she wrote or she created this piece of art, and it just really touched me. And
Wow.
so I wrote this piece to her artwork,
Oh,
and
wonderful. Oh my God.
and then yeah, and then the poem. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's right here. And this is an award-winning piece as well. I submitted it and got. I was hoping to get one nomination if I was lucky, and I woke up with five, like every award I could have
Oh,
won
brava. Oh my God,
this
that's awesome.
one. Yeah, yeah, and the other one that you guys just listened to. So I was like, well, that was exciting.
Well,
Um,
well deserved. I could tell you that. That's for sure. Wow.
so okay, here's the little poem.
Hmm.
Somewhere, and I want you all to just take this in and let this just kind of be for you, um, and just let it be a song of comfort for you.
Hmm.
Somewhere far away in the middle of the night, a symphony of angels play in the moonlight. Fear they do not, nor worry or fraught, for a love of humanity is all they were taught. When they are finished playing, they spread their wings and sing love's light into all beings. The next time you feel down or alone, just listen for the symphony of angels who will always lead you back home.
I love that. That's really nice. Okay, before I start crying, let me play this piece. It's really, wow, that's gorgeous. Really nice. Oh, I gotta share it first. That would be good.
Oh, yes, that would be.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. Oh, am I sharing it? I'm not sure I'm sharing it. Shoot, hang on a second. There we go. Do you see it? Is it there?
I think so.
Very nice. Very nice. You know what I could see? This could definitely be a very popular Christmas tune, you know. And also, I don't know if you thought of this, but it would be fun to actually have this performed by a full orchestra, a chorus, you know. And you can send this off to this group in England. They'll just break it all out for you.
Oh yeah?
They'll break it all out and give you all the orchestration, and you can just give it to an orchestra, say, play this. And I can see you basically touring and having this as a big production, you know.
Well, I can see that
Yeah,
in a dream.
yes, yeah.
Yes, I think that, I'm, where am in my story right now,
Hmm.
I'm in this little random town in Iowa, just kind of like living very simply. But I think
Mm,
that, my life has gone through so many morphs
mm,
and transformations, and I think I'm kind of in this hibernating place where
yeah.
I'm growing from the inside out, and in the
Oh, I
future
love
I
it. And, you know, anytime you maybe feel a little bit down, you just have to listen to this, and it can't but cheer you up, right? This stuff is just so gorgeous and beautiful. And I know myself, I'm not a composer like you, but I do some composing. And for me, it does help me deal with life, you know, just being able to play. Sometimes I just have to play something that's beautiful to remind me that life has potential and there's lots of beauty out there in the world. Because sometimes you have to really remind yourself that that's possible. So,
yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
gorgeous what you did. What a great way to wrap up the session. I really appreciate all your help over the last several weeks, you know, talking about what we're going to do and that sort of thing. And just enjoy your music. In fact, I got to tell people, go back and listen to this with some Bose earphones on, and the stereo, your head will just blow up. It's just the most amazing piece. It's just all your piece is just beautiful. But um, well, this is a good time to open up the floor for a couple of Q&As. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask a question, or even you know, put yourself on the video, turn your video on. Welcome to do that. So if anyone wants to
Yes,
join,
and no pressure if you don't want to. If you're like me and you wear your pajamas more than you should,
yes, you don't have
well,
to put
that's
the video
okay.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I have a
And I
question for
want to
you.
say some of these. Yes.
How do you tell me how you actually do the orchestrations? What software do you use, for example, to do this kind of thing?
Oh,
What is that?
so yeah, this is a new song I'm composing. But anyway, we'll get into that the next time
Yes.
you interview me.
Yeah.
I'm being presumptuous.
Okay.
Um, but this is Logic Pro X. That's what I
Oh,
use. And
okay.
I used to have a baby grand piano. I sold it so that I could purchase a bunch of virtual libraries of instruments.
Good investment.
And
I got to tell you, the sounds that you're using, and they sound so beautiful, and the mix on the Shiro, the sounds you came out with, and the just amazing kind of stuff, just really high end, top quality, you know, movie quality, film score quality stuff. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but you know what you're doing, and even if it's not coming from a place of, you know, of construction, it's coming from a place of muse and
yeah.
it's sort of an organic thing with you. It's amazing. So congratulations for your talent, and you've really come a long way in doing it. Um, Bill just came back and said Bill does not have anything figured out, much less everything. Brava, Kimberly. That's very sweet of
Oh,
you,
Bill is wonderful. Bill and Sarah, who are in here, are in my Keys Unleashed Academy.
Bill.
They
Mm,
take online lessons, and yeah, I always kind of tell the story that Bill almost kind of didn't join because he thought that it might be too. I'm hoping it's okay that I say this, but like a little too flowy, a little too woo woo, and so now, um, he joined, and I'm like, trust me, there's a lot of structure. And that's why I love music. It's almost the perfect balance of structure and chaos,
and
masculine
what
and
do you call
feminine.
that program? What is that?
He's Unleashed Academy. Yeah,
Ah, and that's your academy.
it's my little online
I love
academy.
that. Keys Unleashed. Love it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
Love it.
so anyway, now whenever Bill doesn't, I'll say, okay, I want you to do this, and in this key or whatever. And if he goes outside of it, I'll say that's, you got to be in the key for the exercise we're doing. And then he'll say,
Hmm.
well, I'm just improvising. So it's our joke now.
You did open that up. You did open that whole thing up. That's a
Yeah.
well.
So
This has been
yeah.
really wonderful, inspiring. I'm going to listen to your music
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. I'm sure. It's just I'm looking forward to the next
Oh,
thing you do, and It's just you're going to be one of my favorites. I'm assuming for people that don't know you, you're on Pandora and all those things, and we could listen to you.
Yes, yes. And I do have a new website that I just kind of finished today. You are all welcome to go there. It is roguemusicexperience.com. I'll put it
Ah,
in the chat.
okay.
Let's see, I'm sure I need a www. Um, and I have kind of fun little things, online music lessons, custom theme music for, a birthday present or, intro music for your brand, whatever. And yeah, all sorts of fun little things. And I do have Brilliant Love on there, a high resolution download.
Oh,
You are
wonderful.
welcome to sign up for my mailing list, which I never use, but maybe someday I'll figure, I'll use it. And then you get that. So, and I just
Excellent.
want to say really quick, a special, just a huge thank you to you, Andrew, just for doing this. This is such a fun atmosphere. There's such a good energy here, and that
Mm,
is actually something that's really pretty rare because
mm,
a lot of times interviews, you almost feel like you're supposed to answer a certain way, or at least I do.
mm.
And I just felt like it was so accepted here and so welcomed. And so thank you. And thank you so much for everyone who's here. I know some of you, Sean, Bill, and Sarah. So nice to see you guys here. And then for the rest of you that I haven't met, thank you for hanging out and getting to know me. And feel free to head over to my website and sign up for my mailing list, and then I can kind of send you new projects and stuff
I love it. And just a
in the
shameless
future.
plug on my part, you'll see your interview will be posted this weekend at a composerscorner.com, and I have a number of interviews coming up over the next month or two, so check those out and look forward to keeping in touch. And they have an archive of over 40 interviews and many more to come, so feel free to explore. And by the way, I would encourage you to Kimberly, to look at the Joe Blanchard interview because I think you'll find him fascinating. So
Okay, I absolutely will. And I also want to say one more thank you to my boyfriend, Harold Ware, who is not here right now because he's at a kind of a charity event. He has been so supportive with all my music. So you're going to hear a song that I'm actually composing for him. You might have already heard it. It's called Heart of a Captain.
oh
And
wow,
he's a tractor driving poet.
mm,
So from Iowa. So
excellent.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
share much
wonderful.
about my private life, but I wanted to give him a little shout out in here. So
That's wonderful. Okay,
yeah.
excellent. Well, you have a great night. We look forward to this big debate coming up in a little bit.
Oh,
The timing of
yes.
this could be more perfect. So thank you for basically getting us warmed up a little bit and unwound and in a happy place. This has just been a wonderful hour experience. Thank you so much, Kimberly. You
Look
have a
for
great
the
night.
brilliant love. It's going to be hard to see. Thank you so much.
Have a great night, everyone. Take care.
Bye.